Hi. Um, I just this just came to me, and I just thought I should share it. Like I needed to share it. Um, it's about writing things down. Like, I mean, you might say, okay, why, like, think about why writing things down. But when, like, if God puts something in your spirit and He tells you, okay, this is gonna happen to you, and this is what's gonna happen, and so right, writing it down is kind of a form of showing God's faithfulness. Because let's say you write it down now, and this is what, like 2006, and it doesn't manifest itself till 2012. That is evidence to show. Oh, look, God showed me this at this time, and it came true. It came true at this time. Like it came through. In other words, it's like He said this was gonna happen, and it happened. It took a while to happen, but yet still it happened. So it's like He is faithful. It's like evidence to show that, yeah, look, He is. This is what He said. This is what He told me, and it came through. And it encourages others, that might be in the midst of their waiting time right now, waiting on God to work things out. It like encourages them to, okay, so God told her or him in 2006, but it came out true in 2012, and like that's like what, 6 years it took to come, but it still came. So you know what, I'm like waiting what, 4 years now. So you know what, there's still hope. It's still gonna come to pass. And it's like, you know when you sometimes you're waiting on God. When God tells you something, it seems like, let's say He tells you, okay, I'm use myself for example. Said, Joanna, you're gonna own businesses, and you're gonna grow, and you're gonna do this, and you're gonna do that, right? And then you start thinking, oh wow, and then it's like somebody tell you, I come in and visit you, right? So it's like you start looking out. It's like in the morning, and you're by the window, and you're looking, and you're looking, you're waiting. Oh my gosh, and you're so excited about it, and you're waiting, and you're waiting. Night come, and the person come. Then you waiting, and you went to your bed, wake up in the morning, and you're still waiting, and you're waiting on this person. Weeks gone, months gone, and you're waiting on this person to come, but this person, it doesn't seem as if they're coming anymore. And you start to wondering, like, why would they tell me they're coming, and they didn't come, right? Because you're thinking, they're coming, so they're coming today. Or maybe they didn't get to make it today, maybe they're coming tomorrow, and you start to think, it's supposed to happen now, it's supposed to happen soon. Like, why isn't it happening? And if it doesn't happen like in the time frame that you think it should happen, and you think to yourself, maybe it's not going to happen. But it's like God tells us something, let's say in the initial state or whatever, like, He said, okay, this is what is gonna happen, right? But He never told you it's gonna happen today or tomorrow. And then also too, He tells you, and then He has to prepare you, for it. So it's like that process, or that time between when He tells you to when it does come to pass, is actually time when He's preparing you for it, that is going to come to pass. You see, it's going to come. It's not, God's not going to come and tell you, oh, you know what, I have this for you, or, you're all excited about it, and then He's like, oh shoot, I totally forget about that. Like, that's not God. He brings things to pass. His word, should say his word says that He's not man that He should lie. If God tells you this is gonna happen, it's gonna happen. It might not happen in your timing, when you think it should, how you think it should, but it's gonna happen. Nevertheless, it's gonna happen. And it's like He is faithful, and it does come to pass. It takes a while to come. There's a process that you need to go through in order to get to where He's taking you, but nevertheless, it's gonna come to pass. I just want to encourage whoever's out there, you're waiting. I don't know how long, however long you're waiting, it's gonna come to pass, and you gotta believe it. You gotta believe it, because it might come a point where everybody else, if you told anybody else, they might be like, you sure it's gonna happen? Are you sure it's gonna happen? When it's gonna happen? Nothing is happening. You better as well get out there and do your own thing, because God look like He forget about you. They're not gonna say it in those words, right? But they might say things that might point in that direction, like, you sure God tell you this? You sure God tell you there's nothing happening? And then if that's why I think you should be careful who you tell these things to. Like, I'm not saying that you shouldn't trust people or whatever, but you tell people, right? And now they think, and then they're not seeing it. You're not seeing it. And then, but you know God told you, right? But this other person, they just going on what you said, because God didn't tell them, God told you. So you tell them, and they just going on what you said, and they now thinking, you sure that this person sure this is what God tell them, like, and they start to think, and then they start to think, what, you're wasting your time doing this. You should probably go and do this. God maybe didn't tell you that, maybe you missed God, and all these things they start to say, and then you getting frustrated waiting, tired waiting, might now take what they say and like, maybe you're right, and then you start to believe all these things, and then what God tells you takes back seat, because it's like all the evidence around you, like everything around you tells you that God forgot about you, like nothing is happening. But I actually learned this morning, like, I was listening to a Joyce Meyer message, and she was talking about the way that God like, he tells you things, or so whereby you just know, you just got this know, and I call it my knower. Like, I just know something when I just know, like, I don't know how, but I just know, like, it makes sense, to me it's like, I don't know why, but I just know this thing is gonna happen, or I just know this is what I'm supposed to do. Like, you just know, you don't know how to explain, like, okay, how come you know this, and I don't know, but I just know, like, you just know. In other words, right? So it's like, you just know, and sometimes that's all you got to hold on to, and trust God, and ask him. If maybe you missed him, or maybe you didn't hear properly, you ask him to clear up things for you. You ask him to clarify it for you, because he can do that. And sometimes you gotta just hold on, like, okay, God, you said this is it, alright, I trust you, this is it. And you just hold on. Everybody else like, no, Joanne, then he's swaying and you're swaying, or no this or no that, or maybe wrong or whatever. But you hold on, and it's like, you're the one who has to believe in yourself, believe in God, and believe in what he told you, and not depend on people to approve it. Like, most times we do that. Like, some God tell you something, and then you run to somebody else, or maybe somebody you hold in high regard, and you run to them and you tell them, okay, this is what God tell me, and you trying to find out their opinion on it, like, trying to actually get their approval before you actually either believe it or move forward with it. And I think God takes us through different trials whereby we're put in situations where we have the opportunity to trust him, to build our trust in him. Because not all the time everybody's going to agree with you. Sometimes you got to pick it up and run with it with confidence before people say, okay, you know what? Because sometimes people just believe it because you believe it, And if you don't believe it, then don't expect them to believe it, right? It's your vision. It's your thing, man. Anyway, yeah. It's your stuff, right? So it's like, you the one who got to protect it. You can't expect somebody else to come and protect your thing the way, because it's not theirs, right? I mean, some people might, care about stuff, but then again, when they get frustrated, it's like, this is not even my thing, like, this is they go. But it's yours, it's yours. You can protect it. You should protect it. You should keep it. You should nurture it. You should allow it to grow. And that's another thing, nurturing. Like, if God tells you something, don't listen and take in things that would discourage you from staying in faith and believing God. Listen to things, feed yourself with things that are going to strengthen you as you wait, strengthen you to develop, strengthen you to keep going, to move forward. In other words, anyway, I've been on here longer than I expected to be, but nevertheless, Holy Spirit leads, and I just felt that I should come and encourage somebody. Like, this is something that I learned. Like, I just sit there, and then the Holy Spirit like reveals to me, and I just thought I should share it with you, because I think when God teaches us stuff, it's not just for me. Like, it's like those leopards. They were sitting outside the city and they were hungry, and they know that their country didn't have anything. Nobody had anything to eat, but they were leopards, so they weren't allowed to be in the city. But they were out there, and they say if they stay here, they don't eat, they don't get nothing to eat, they might die of starvation. They go to the city, people might kill them. So it's like, either way, they can die. But they can take the chance and go to the city. Who knows? Maybe nobody might see them. They might be able to get something to eat, and they might live a day longer or something, right? So they took the initiative to say, you know what? We stay, we can die. We go, we could die. We could die. A possibility that we could die. So let's just take the chance. And they took the chance. They stepped out and they went. And you know what? God, oh my gosh, this is they took the first step into going towards the food, and God worked. If they didn't take the step towards the food, God wouldn't work. And what I mean by this is that while they were going, God caused their footsteps to sound like an army, coming. And these people in the city heard it and heard like, oh my gosh, you're coming. And they ran away. So when they got to the city, nobody was there. They had food galore, like a whole lot of food, and it's like God worked. And God couldn't work if they didn't get up and walk. Because you see what God used? He used their footsteps. If they were still sitting where they were, then God couldn't use their footsteps because they weren't walking, So it's like, this is it with us. God wants us to just step out, do what we can do, even if it's a little bit. God can take it and multiply it, like he multiplied the five loaves and the 2 fishes. He can take whatever little you got and multiply it. He just wants you to give him something to work with. Oh my gosh, he just wants you to give him something to work with. And it's the same thing in life. Like, for example, I'm gonna use myself. Like, I have a craft business that I'm working with, and sometimes it feels like, it's not going anywhere. Like, what am I doing? Am I really making a profit? And all these thoughts come to my head. But it's like, I use my means. Like, I have Facebook, I post stuff there, I got a page, I advertise to people, I can text people. Like, everything that I can do, I try and I do. I work on myself. Like, I work to get better. I work on my craft so that I can, maybe I should tweak this, tweak that, and I change them around. And I do what I can do, and that's what I can do. And now I leave it up to God. So I put it out there, tell somebody, I have craft business or whatever. I'm begging them, support me or whatever, I just let them know, put it out there, and do what I can do. I know God can take that and multiply it. I give him something to work with, in other words, right? So it's like, you got to give him something to work with. Most times we wait on God, when this is going to sit down waiting. Okay, God, what's going to happen? And this is called passive waiting. Sit down waiting and waiting on God to do something. Why God isn't doing this and why God isn't doing that. God is like, I've already done what I need to do, and there are times like I'm waiting on you to get up and move, like, get up and get. And you're there like, God, when you're gonna do it? I'm waiting like how many years, and you do nothing. And God's like, I've been waiting like how many years for you to get up? Like, get up. And it's like, most times we're waiting on God, but God is there waiting on us, So I know I was like all over the place, but I don't know. I'm just flowing. And I just let it flow, whatever, because I don't know, maybe there's different people that are going to hear this, and they're going through different situations, and some part of this message here is going to help them. So whatever it is that you got from it, or you were able to get from it to help you, I'm grateful that I was able to be used by the Holy Spirit to share what I've learned, the things that are going to help me, share it with you, so that, you can grow. It's like I'm growing, because when I find food, it's not just, I find food, so I'm gonna eat it all, how they gonna try it, like I took the time to come here. I find food. I know this, my neighbor out there doesn't have food. I go and I tell them there's food over there, and that's the way we should think. Like, do unto others, we'd have them do unto you. Think about it. If somebody else found food and you starving, would you want them to come and tell you, I found food? So anyway, thank you for listening, and until next time, bye.